and then it's either raining or it's dry. And then on Tuesday, either rain, dry, rain, dry. This is Monday. This is Tuesday. This is 0.4. This is 0.6. If it rains on Monday, then the probability it rains on Tuesday is 0.3, 0.7. And then this here is 0.8, and this is 0.2. And part 2, what's the probability that it's dry on both days? Well, that's only one possibility, 0.6 times 0.8, which is 0.48. Yeah. So that's A part of that question done. We'll go to the B part now in a moment. The B part is sequence and series. Coffee? Iced coffee. Espresso, ice, and caramel? Ah, I'm learning. Oh yes, of course. Right. Scroll down. Yep, okay. B part. In an arithmetic progression, the third term is 17, and the fourth term is 13. Find A and D for 2 marks. Okay, so here I get 2D is minus 4, so D is minus 2. If I put that back in there, I get A is 21. Find the 48th term. It's A plus 47D. 21 minus 47 times 2. So what's that? 21 minus 94. Yeah?
Shouldn't it be 3D, not 4D?
Yeah, it should be. That's right. Thank you. We have at least one student awake. More awake than the teacher. A plus 2D and A plus 3D. Better? Thank you. A plus 2D is 17 and A plus 3D is 13. Okay. Well, that's even easier, because then I get D equals minus 4 and then A equals 25. Okay, now on to the second part. The 48th term, A plus 47D, 25 plus 47 times minus 4, 25, 3, 6, 9, 12, minus 188. Is that right? Oh, minus 163? Really? That's right. Nice. And part 3. Find the sum of the first 36 terms. So if you remember, that's n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. 18, 50 plus 35 times minus 4. What's that? 18, 50 minus 140. What's that? 80 times minus 90? Is that right so far? Let me see. 180 minus 18. Is that minus 1620? Yeah. Okay. Now look, I don't have my calculator, so I'm counting on you to spot mistakes. It looks okay? A geometric progression is given by 512, 448, 392, etc. find when it is less than 1. So obviously it's getting smaller. At some point it will be smaller than 1. There's a couple of ways to do it. But I'll show you the way I would like to do this one. We are looking for when a or n minus 1 is less than 1. Now because it says falls below, that's why I didn't say this. Because it said falls below, which means smaller, not equal. Okay, a is 512. What's the or here? Is it like 0.9? 0.8? 7/8, is it? Okay. Right, so that's when is 7/8 n minus 1 less than 1 over 512? Put a log on both sides. N minus 1 log 7/8 less than log 1 over 512. Yeah. N log 7/8 minus log 7/8 less than log 1 over 152. And log 7/8 less than log 7/8 plus log 1 over 512. And nearly finished. N needs to be bigger than log 7/8 plus log 1 over 512 over log 7/8. Now, why did I flip it? Because what's negative? Log 7/8 is a negative. So, now I need a calculator here. What do we get for this number? 47.72. Now, we need n to be bigger than 47.72, and we need n to be a natural number. So the only way n can be a natural number and bigger than 47.72 is if it's bigger than or equal to 48. So 48 is the answer here. Okay, part 2. Find S infinity. Well, that's just a over 1 minus or, which is 512 over 1 minus 7/8, which is 1/8, which is 1024. Is it 4096? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes? Am I cold? I'm warm actually. Are you cold? Do you want me to close the door?
The answer? 409.
Okay. No problem. Yeah. Like this? Yeah. Okay, in a moment we'll have a look at number 3 now. Breakfast. Is there like this chocolate digestive sandwich?
Chocolate. That's a chocolate.
Yeah, between 2 digestive biscuits.
Yeah.
Nice. I like your thinking. Nutella?
Yep.
Good thinking. All right. Just one moment and then we'll do 3 here. Donna, how much of section B did you try?
I didn't try.
Just like that. Okay, are we ready for number 3? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, let's have a look at number 3 now. Okay. I think some people had trouble with number 3. The language is a little bit weird. The number of a fruit fly, n, after t days is given by this formula. Where a and k are constants. Initially, there were 120 fruit flies, and then 2 days later, there were 480. Basically, find the a and the k. Yeah. So the a is easy to get because if we put this in here, we get 120 equals AE0. So we get a is 120. A little bit harder is the k. A little bit harder. We put this in to get the k. So we get 480 equals 120 E2k. Dividing by 120 and I get 4 equals E2k. Yeah. I put a log on both sides. My log cancels my E. And I get 2k equals log 4. But log 4, you got to remember, is 2 squared. I can bring the square down in front, and that's useful to me because then I can cancel the 2 with the 2. And I'm left with k equals log 2 then, which is what they asked me to show. Yeah. No, because the question very specifically said, show that k equals log 2. So we have to get there.
What if I don't do the log part?
Oh, that would have cost you a mark. It has to cost you something, because the question said to show this.
I mean, it's 4 marks again, so if I don't do the k equals ln 2,
I'd say it could have been 2 for A and 2 for K. Although A was quite easy, it might have been 1 and 3.
So 3 over 4?
Yeah, 3 over 4. In the best case. Okay, continue. Yeah. 2. How many fruit flies are there after 5 days? So N equals A, E, K, T, 5 days, isn't it? 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. 32 times 12, what's that? That's 32 times 10. Is that 3520? No, I've run out of luck. It's not this, or it is this? Yes it is, or yes it isn't. Don't mess with me like that. Oh, sorry, no, it's not that, of course. 3920. But then, don't leave me here looking embarrassed. Get a calculator out. 3840. Thank you. Okay. Oh, and I need to put in my unit. So this is number of flies. Number of flies. Hashtag flies. Okay, 3. Derivative. So what is the n dt here? Well, that would be ak ekt, because for this the k just comes down in front. And we know the a, we know the k, and we know the t, so we know everything. So that's 120 log 2 e log 2 times 4. 2, 4, 8, 16. 16 times 120 times log 2. Okay, what's this, please? we have a number here? 1330.84. So if I'm doing three significant figures, it'll be 1330. And the unit? Yeah, which is flies per day here. Oh no, we'll do it properly. Flies per day. By the way, actually, I forgot to put my units in earlier. We'll just go back and put them in. What's the units for this one? Flies. And now this one's hard. Does anyone know the units for the K? Does it actually have units? It has units, yeah. Does anyone know the units for the K? No, that's the next answer. Day per fly. How many days pass when a fly exists? Interesting. Huh? Not days, not days. Let me tell you how you can work this out, okay? So you have N equals A, E, K, T. So we already said the A is flies. And this one here is flies. So this one here must have no unit. But that's not the same as saying K has no unit, because something in this already has a unit. What does the T have as a unit? Days. So the K must be a unit that cancels days. 1 over day. So in other words, per day. Now don't worry, they won't take a mark away if you didn't get this one. The reason I know this is because the person who wrote this exam in Manchester doesn't actually understand that that's the unit. So because they don't understand, it means you don't need to understand. But they do understand that the unit here is flies, and they do understand here that the unit is flies per day. So you need to have those ones. And physics students, before we go on to the next part, this should remind you of this equation. So because this one is in units of seconds, and this one is in per seconds. And part of the reason for that is that they cancel, leaving you with the unit for the voltage then, okay? Right, let's continue. What's next? Part B. Solve the equation 4n to the power 3/4 times 5n to the power of a half equals 4860. Well, I'm just going to straight away divide by 20. So that's 243. Adding the powers together, 3/4 plus a half is 5/4. And the easiest way to get to the answer is I want to get rid of this power 5/4, so I'll just put a power 4/5 on both sides, 4 over 5. So the answer is basically whatever 243 to the power of 0.8 is. Let me think, that's going to be, is it 81? It is 81? Okay, great. Two. What I love about this final part of question 2 is a lot of students made the same mistake the person who wrote this exam made. So when I looked at the answer to this question, I was surprised to see they made a mistake that some of my students made. If you did this, then you, okay, not that it's a mistake, but it's a bad way to do it. Some people brought the 2 up here. If you did that, congratulations, you made the same mistake that the person who wrote the question made. In fact, there's a much easier way to do this. At the very beginning, you can cancel the 2's here. And because this is equal to 1, you know what this must be. What must it be? It must be 8, because only log 8 can make 1. Therefore, x must be 12. And you can see that this is a mistake, because they would never have purposely meant this question to be 4 marks if you could do it this quickly. Yeah, because whoever wrote this question was picturing the 2 goes up to make a quadratic, you factorize the quadratic, you choose one answer and reject the other answer. Yeah, so things like this sometimes happen, and you should take advantage of it if it does happen, okay? So just keep an eye out for anything weird like that. Okay, so that was number 3. Number 4 now. This first question is quite generous for 3 marks. Integrate 0 pi cos x dx. That's equal to sine x pi 0, which is 0. Part 2 is a bit weirder. What does your answer indicate? Well, if you remember, cos x looks like this. Here's 0 and here's pi. And integration makes area, except when it's under, then it makes minus area, negative area. So because I got a 0 here, what this tells me is that the area above must equal the area below, because the total became 0. So the answer here is the area above x equals the area below x. B part 1 here. Okay, scroll down. What have we got here? We've got a triangle, 12 centimeters, 14 centimeters, 15 centimeters, and first we want to find this angle, P. Yeah, so what rule is this one? Cosine rule. 15 squared equals 12 squared plus 14 squared minus twice 12 by 14. So that's 24 by 14 cos P. So that means P will equal cos inverse, when I rearrange this, 15 squared minus 12 squared minus 14 squared over minus 24 times 12. So if someone can just hit that in, please, in degrees mode.
I got 70.
70 exact?
That's what I got.
69.9? We'll go with that then.
So, 70 is what it is.
True.
Yeah.
But is it closer to 69.9? What's after the 0.9?
8.
Oh wait, 69.98.
And 5.
And 5, so 69.99. Well, that's a 4 significant figures.
It doesn't have that.
But remember I said this, the answer must be to 3 significant, yes? Oh yeah. Well, I think when people typed it in, they got this one though. Yeah. Is that right to 4 significant figures? No?
Yep, it's correct.
Read it out, the angle you got. 69.
0.99.
Really?
The one is 985.
985. Okay, so 99 then.
Yeah.
So to 3 significant figures, it would be 70 then. Yeah. Yeah. What? 70 or 70.0 is fine. Chrissy, in the exam you'll get the full marks for 70 because the answer needs to be to 70, but the calculations needs to be to 4 significant figures. Technically it's 69.99, but I feel that in the marking scheme, if I was to look at it, they probably used 70.
You have to use that number in other calculations.
Yeah. For the answer here is 70, correct. But I will use 69.99 in my next part, which is, I probably need to use this to get the shortest distance, right? The shortest distance from Q to PR. So yeah, this distance here, they want this distance, I'll call it X. I shall use sine P. Yeah. So sine 69.99 equals X over 12, is that right?
Yeah.
So my answer, so this is what I mean, Chrissy, on the calculator I should still have 69.985 on the screen. I press sine of that number and times 12, and what do I get?
So if you put 70, you have the same answer.
To 3 significant figures in the next part. Yeah, that's not always going to happen though. Most of the time it will. Okay, can I go on to C now? Yeah. Okay. Solve tan 2 theta equals minus 1 over square root 3. Right, so my steps, it's ready for inverse. So if I have 2 theta equals tan inverse minus 1 over root 3, what's that like? I know, I think we need radians. Is that minus pi over 3? It is minus pi over 3. Yeah, okay. Now, extra answers. How many answers am I looking at here? How many answers? 4 answers. The first one is minus pi over 3. How do I get the second answer for tan? No. Yes. So if I add pi, that would be 2 pi over 3. How do I get the other 2 answers for tan, or sine, or cos? I add 2 pi to these 2 answers. Go around the circle one more time. So this would be 5 pi over 3. Is that right?
Yeah.
And this would be 8 pi over 3. 5 and 8, yeah? Does that do? Just you confirmed? I looked you in the eyes and said, is that minus pi over 3? And he said, yes. Yes, it is. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Why would you lie to me, Andrew? I thought we had a thing going on. I guess not. Right. Minus pi over 6. Okay, so 2 theta. So the first one's minus pi over 6, and the second one is 5. That's a 6 now. 5 pi over 6. I add 2 pi to these 2. So what's that? 11 pi over 6. Is that right? Yeah. 17 pi over 6. Okay. Done and done. What's my next step? Simplify. I should simplify now. So divide by the 2. Minus pi over 12. 5 pi over 12. 11 pi over 12. 17 pi over 12. And finally, The F. Fix any answers. Which answer needs fixing? First one, because it's minus. I fixed that by adding 2 pi to it. So I have 5 pi over 12, 11 pi over 12, 17 pi over 12, and 23 pi over 12. That was this one here. I just pushed it to the back. So these are the 4 answers between 0 and 2 pi for my equation. D. Continue. For D, they want cos A. This is A, this is 9, this is 41, this is square root 41 squared minus 9 squared. What's that, by the way? 40, yeah. So cos A is 40 over 41. Five. Scroll down. Okay, 5. A farmer has 80 meters of fence and wishes to make a rectangular pen of width x meters as shown in figure 3. She wishes to make the area as large as possible. Right, so if that's x, that must be x. Right? So how much does she have left? She has 80 minus 2x. That's how much she has left. But that must go on this side, and it must go on this side, and it must be equal. So divide that by 2, and it means these sides must be 40 minus x. Which means the area must be x times 40 minus x. Part 2, find the x that makes this maximum. The area is 40x minus x squared. The derivative is 40 minus 2x, which must equal 0. So that means x must equal 20. Means the area, 20 meters. The area is 400 meters squared. And is it a maximum? Yes, because if we get the derivative again, we get minus 2, which is negative, which makes it a max because the shape is concave. Oh, look, I've accidentally done part 3 and part 4 at the same time. B, 1. This is a good one. X cubed minus 9x squared plus 27x minus 23. Find the stationary point. The stationary point is the derivative. 3x squared minus 18x plus 27. Divide by 3. X squared minus 6x, thank you. Plus 9. Yeah, so what? No, just one answer here. X minus 3. X minus 3 equals 0. So it means x equals 3. Now, don't make this mistake. The x goes back into this one. So what's that? Y equals 27 minus 81 plus, thank you, 4. Y equals 4. Show that this is an inflection point. Now, if I just go back to the side for a moment, let's just remind you of what an inflection point is. So an inflection point is where it switches from being concave, here it is here, to convex. This is an inflection point. So we have two types of inflection points, either this one or this one. Now let's think about what we require for each. Let's think about this. This here, if I draw the tangent, is it increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. So if it's this, I need negative here. And here, I would need positive. Also, this is concave, this is convex. In between, the second derivative is what? Is 0. And here, the same, it's 0. In other words, put both of these together, I need this. I need the first derivative to not be 0, and I need the second derivative to equal 0. And this is where we have a problem, if we go back to the question. Because I already know what the first derivative is. It's 0, because that's what I had to do 1 minute ago. If I go back here, they want to know, is this an inflection point? Well, it is, but why? No. Because the first derivative is 0. If you remember, I said when the first derivative is 0 and the second derivative is 0, I know nothing. So there's a big problem because the first derivative is 0. I can't actually check if this is an inflection point by looking at the second derivative. It means, unfortunately, the only way I can do this is by making a little graph. This is technically the only way I can do this. Now when I say a little graph, I do mean a really little one. I just need 3 points. I need 3, I need a value to the left, and I need a value to the right. And here, this is 4. So this is my point here. So what I really want to happen is, I do need the second derivative to be 0 here, in my graph, but I also need something about the neighbours as well. For this to be an inflection point, I need the second derivative here to be positive, and the second derivative here to be negative. It's great that this one is 0, but it doesn't quite show it. I need the neighbours to be going from concave to convex. So let's have a look at the second derivative. What's the second derivative here? 6x minus 18? Great, so if I put in 2, I get negative. Oh, sorry, I drew that backwards. And like that one's the negative and that one's the positive. If I put in 2, I get 12 minus 8 minus 6, which makes it concave. And if I put in 4, I get 24 minus 18, which is 6, which is convex. So it goes from concave to convex, which is what an inflection point is. That's hard. In fact, that's very hard for 2 marks only. If you just wrote the second derivative as 0, that is only going to work if the first derivative is not 0, which unfortunately it is here, which means I couldn't give you the mark for just saying the second derivative is 0. This question is trying to trick people into giving the answer you just gave. And I suppose what is kind of nice here is that I actually have already done part 3 now. Part 3 was a sketch. But the only thing I'm missing on my sketch is where it crosses the y-axis. Where does it cross the y-axis? at minus 23. Okay, 6. Very difficult, this one, very difficult at the end. Six. 1. Find the line AB. Well, that's nice. What should I find first? I think the slope. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's minus 8 over 4. Minus 2? Y equals minus 2x plus c. Let me put in the 0.64, that looks easier. So I get 4 equals minus 12 plus c. C equals 16. So y equals minus 2x plus 16. That's the first part. Okay, find the tangent at B. So how do I get the slope? Yeah, so the slope is the derivative, which is 2x minus 10, and the x is 6. 12 minus 10, which is 2. Y equals 2x plus c. Again, I'll use 6, 4, put the 6, 4 in. 4 equals 12 plus c. C equals minus 8. Y equals 2x minus 8. That's the next one done. Part 3, for 1 mark, where does this line cross the x-axis? Well, that's just solving this. X equals 4 for 1 mark. And finally, the juicy part. What's the area here? Not as bad as it looks. In fact, very nice for 8 marks. The area here, I would need to integrate between what? 2 and 6. And what do I integrate? The line, which is minus 2x plus 16, minus the quadratic, yeah, x squared minus 10x plus 28. Yeah. Okay. Come on, quick. Alright. Here. This is integrate from 2 to 6 minus x squared. Is that 8x next? Yeah, 8x. Plus 8x. And then 16 minus 28, is it? Minus 12? Yeah? Is that right? Is that right so far? Just simplifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is equal to minus x cubed over 3 plus 4x squared minus 12x. And the limits are 2 and 6. So first I put in 6. Minus 6 cubed. 6 times 6 is 36. Times 6 again. What's that? 90, 180, 208 or something? What is it? $216 over 3. Minus 72. 6 squared is 30. Oh, is this plus 72? Minus 72. Minus 8 over 3 plus 16 minus 24. Cancel. Minus 72 plus 8 over 3. 16 minus 24 is minus 12. No, something went wrong, 'cause this answer's very
You
negative.
have to minus more.
I have to minus more.
Y tangent B.
Oh, but I combined these together into one.
Yeah, I mean, you have one more equation to minus.
Do I? I don't think I do. No? What's tangent B got to do with anything here? Yeah, I combined them into one. You know what? I'll have my own calculator. I'll do this myself. Firstly, did I get this right? Minus x squared minus 10x 8x, yeah. 16 minus 28 is minus 12. Okay, so that looks good. So let's put in the 6 first. Minus 6 cubed over 3 plus 4 times 36 minus 12 times 36. Yeah? Thank you. 0. Okay. 0 minus, and let's put in 2 now. 2, and this here is 2 squared, which is 4, and this here is 2. I want this to be negative. Yeah, good. Minus 32 over 3. So the answer is 32 over 3. This is quite good for 8 marks. Guys, this is really good for 8 marks. All of that there, these 3 lines. Hey, dude, listen. I'm saying this is really good for 8 marks. There's only 3 lines and it's 8 marks. And not only is it only 3 lines and 8 marks, I can check the answer to know I have my 8 marks, because I can take out my calculator and just hit in, integrate 2 to 6, and we had brackets minus 2x plus 16, and then this one here is x squared minus 10x plus 28. So if this was an exam, I know guaranteed I have 8 marks. Okay, that was the last one for this exam. Thank you, Dana. So if you can open up the next exam. If you want, take a break for 5 minutes, and then when you come back, get a start on the next exam, and then when that's finished, we'll go through that one.